Hello guys, today I'll be doing an in-depth guide on how equipment works and what is the best equipment in the game for each part of the game. I'll be making a part on each one of them, starting from starting gear, early game, mid game, and late game. Below in the description I'll put timestamps so you know which part to go to depending on where you are in the game. So if you're somewhere in mid-game and you don't want to see all the starting thing, you could just go to the description, click mid-game timestamp, and it'll take you there. Before we even start making equipment, everybody should know how stars work. Every equipment has stars. This is 1 star to 5 star, 5 star being the most, 1 star being the least possible. So I'll tell you how the stars work. Let's go to the crafting table. Let's take Ruby Ring for example. A ruby ring has the ability to get 3 luck and up to 18% size boost. So this is the maximum amount of stats. So now when we go here and we try to craft the ruby ring, let's use the lowest weight possible. So let's do this, this, and this. And let's do like a small ruby like this. You see how it's a 1 star? This 1 star is giving us the least amount of stats. So we have anywhere from a 1 to a 0.2 and 0 to 10%. So we're not getting the full amount of stats. So you want to go for as much stars as possible, 5 stars being the best. You should always try to aim for 5 stars. And you'll see the difference. We take out all these. Let's go make this 5 stars. Let's put a big ruby in. Let's put a good amount of these. And you see, we get 5 stars. We get the most amount of stats. Now it says 1 to 3, 0 to 18. So we're getting every single stat. So you want to know how to start, like how to get this up. The way you get stars up is by value. So value is the amount that the ore is worth. So let's go to ruby. This ruby is worth 45k. And stars is value. And value equals the weight or the mutation of the ore. So heavy ore is going to be more expensive because, you know, it weighs more. And mutated heavy ore is also going to be more valuable because it is mutated, it has a multiplier, plus the weight of it. So let's go to ruby ring. Let's find like something mutated. You see how this is iridescent? We could do this, we could do this, and then we could do these. And you see how it's still a 5 star, even though we didn't use this, because of the mutations. So mutations are good, but most of the time you just want to go for raw weight. Weight's the easiest one. Use heavy items, get more stars. I hope that helps people with the clarification of stars. I know a lot of people get confused on the stars. And another clarification, once you make the item, you cannot reforge and get more stars on it. It is stuck. So if you make a, let me open up my kit. If you make a 5 star, or like let's say this 2 star, if I make a 2 star, there's no way to reforge it, there's no way to fix the stars on it, you have to make a completely new one. So I hope this clarifies the, the star part of the video. This is very important, and this is something you should know beforehand. I'll also put a little thingy on screen that you could read, and this should help you out when it comes to getting more stars. So now the second part is going to be roll values. This is another mechanic of the game that you need to understand before we start getting into equipment. Roll value is the amount of stat that your item has. So if I have a 100% item, let's say this Phoenix Heart rolled 100%, it would have 100% of the stats. So it'd be a perfect item. But because it's RNG, which you get, so that means whenever you craft an item, it will give you a random roll value. That roll value tells you how much of the stats, like I explained. On this Phoenix, I have a 80%. That means I have 80% of the stats. My bad, I was drinking there. But you have 80% of the stats. And when you have really low values, there is a way to fix this. And this is how I'm going to show you. Let's use this ruby ring. Let me put it in my inventory. Let's put these away. I'm sorry, I haven't cleaned up my inventory. I was doing this for the video. But let's take this ruby ring, for example. We go to the Reforger. The Reforger, he can either make your item better or he can make it worse. This is pure RNG. There is no way to get past that. The only two ways is you spend Robux on the Game Pass, which is the Crafter's Luck, or you perfect Reforge it, which is you pay Robux, and it'll pop up here. You pay this amount of Robux. As the rarity goes up, this changes. And this means you get 100% every single time. But for the people that don't have Robux to spend like that, you'll go here, 35%. Yes. Look at that. We went from 22 to 55%. And you want to keep in mind that sometimes the items can be mega tilted, so you can still get like a very good 70%, but all of that will be towards one stat. Let's take for example one of my better ones. Let's take for example this. So this is like a 65%, but it's not mega luck into, like it's split into everything. There's some rings that are like very low, like these that are very low row value, but look how much luck they go into. So you have to keep that in mind when you're making equipment. You want to know what stats you want in the equipment. Like if I make a Heart of an Ocean or I make a Ruby Ring, you want to make sure that the stat is going into the one that you want. And that's just pretty much rerolls. Rerolls are just gambling. You're gambling stats. And I hope that explained it as much as possible. Anyways, let's start with starting gear. For starting gear, we're going to do 2 gold rings. This is going to be for the luck stat. So we're going to make 2 of these, and the starting gear is for the very new players. These are like very noob, very new, level 2, 3s that need to know, like they want to know what's the best equipment for them at the very start of the game. You'll make 2 of these. They're called gold rings. They're crafted with gold. It gives you flat luck, which is very good at finding more minerals. We'll make an amethyst pendant, 1 of these. You want to have a luck for more minerals, soul boost for more cash. And then we'll do a guardian glove. This will give you dig strength and capacity to hold more ores. Dig strength helps you with faster pans. You get more into that pan, that means you get more minerals. And this is how it should look in your collection, or not your collection, your prospecting kit. So it should look something like this. We're aiming for 3 stars on these gold rings, so these gold rings should be anywhere from 2 to 3 stars. Mine are very high because of the ore that I use, because I have Apocalypse Bringer. Gives me high ore, but these should be 2 to 3. This amethyst should be 3 stars minimum, and this guardian glove should be 3 stars minimum. So once you have all of these, you should be moving to the next step of the video. So now we're in the early game gear part of the video. This is you got the starting gear already. You're a little bit more into the game. You've made some cash. You got some gems. So you want to know what is next now. So we're gonna start off with 3 ruby rings, and these are kind of expensive, but they're easy to craft. If you actually mine in these lakes or in these rivers, they give you these minerals pretty fast. But they're expensive. You want to have some money saved up, and we're gonna make 3 of these. At this point, you should have already 3 ring slots from doing NPC quests. Do not spend your shards on totems. Do not spend it on potions. Save your shards, unlock ring slots. 3 ring slots should be already open for this part of the game. So we're gonna make 3 of these. We're gonna make a jade armband. So we're gonna make this, and we're gonna make the topaz. Ruby ring gives us luck and size boost. That means we get bigger ore, more stars. We get luck, more minerals, like more rare minerals. Topaz, we get more luck. We get dig strength, and we get shake strength. Shake strength means you pan, like the number on the pan goes faster down. Dig strength means you scoop more. And with a jade armband, we're doing this for the luck and the capacity. As I said before, capacity means more sand in your pan, and then luck gives you higher chances of rare minerals. So we're doing a 3 ruby ring, 1 jade armband, topaz necklace, and I'll have it on screen. Like it should be somewhere to the left or the right. It will be on screen. We're looking for the ruby rings. They should be 3-star minimums with row values of 50 to 60%. So they should be 3 stars and they should be 50 to 60%. The jade armband should be 4-star minimum with row values of 60 to 70%. Because they are green, they're a little bit cheaper to reforge. So you should not have a hard time making these 4 stars and re-rolling them into 60 to 70 range. Same with the topaz. The topaz, you want a 4-star minimum with a row value of 60 to 70%. And this just guarantees that we have more of those stats inside of the year, which gives us the most potential for the year to give you items. Once you have all these, we can move to the next part. But first, I need to show you how it's gonna look. So we're gonna do 1, 2, and then 3, and then you'll do the jade armband, and then you do the topaz necklace. And it should look something like this, except these would be 3 stars, this would be 4-star, and this would be 4-star. And these would have 50 to 60, which they have. These are around the good value, row value. This should be all the way to 70 and 70 to 60, and this should be to 60 to 70. Like I said, I'll have these in the corner, so they should help you. You should just look over here, and you should be able to see it. And this just helps you visualize it and explain it to you. Hello guys, we're at the early mid-game gear now. At this point of the game, you should have 4 rings unlocked. You should, you get those rings through shards during quests. You do quest and you just go to your rings right here, and I'll tell you a shard, and you should unlock these 2. So this is going to be the mid-game, or the early mid-game gear guide. So we're going to be doing 4 ruby rings. So we're going to be making 4 of these. These will give us a luck and size boost, big ore, more money, better crafting, luck, more rare material that we could get. We're going to be making a lapis armband. Lapis armband gives us a lot of luck, and it gives us some much needed speed, which means faster pans. And we're going to be doing a topaz necklace. So we're going to be sticking with the topaz necklace, but we're going to remake it into a 5-star. So in the part behind this one, or the part before this one, for early game gear, we had a topaz necklace with 4 stars. Now we're going to remake it into a 5-star. And we're going to make a 5-star with a 60 to 70% roll value. The same thing goes with the lapis armband. We're aiming for 60 to 70 roll value, 5-star. And we're going to be making 4 of these ruby rings, all 5 stars, with a roll value of 60 to 70%. And this will help us a lot with getting big ore. And that will help you in the next part of the videos into crafting bigger items. And the same goes with the lapis armband. We're upgrading from the jade armband, from if you saw the last part, from the jade armband into the lapis, because the lapis gives us luck. It gives us a lot of speed. And then the topaz, all we're doing is we're making a new one that's 5 stars, so we could get a little bit more of these stats, and with a 60 to 70 roll value. And then we'll be moving on to mid-game gear in the next part of the video. So now we're in the late mid-game gear. You've done a lot of grinding, you got enough ores, you saved up gold. We're getting into the bigger territories. Let me take a little drink. At this point, you should have 4 ring slots unlocked. You unlock the ring slots by using shards. You should have already 4 of them at this point of the video, or at least at this point of the game. You should have 4 unlocked. And you get shards by doing quests. There should be quests around from these people. You do them. I think there's one here, and then 2 at the beginning area, and those give you shards, and those give you the 4 ring slots. So now let me go over what we're gonna be using. We're gonna be doing a 3 ruby ring setup. So we're gonna make 3 of these. We're gonna make 1 meteor ring. We're gonna do 1 opal amulet. We're gonna do 1 lapis armband. And like I said, I'll put this in the left, right, so this should help you visualize it. But right now what I'm doing is explaining it to you. So we're gonna do 3 ruby rings, and these are gonna be 5-star minimum, and we're gonna take advantage of the most stats as possible. So unlike the past step, this step we're gonna be focusing on 5 stars. So these should be 5 stars. We're gonna get the most amount of stats as possible. You want to have 60 to 70% roll value on these ruby rings, as well as them being 5 stars. We're gonna do a 1 meter ring. So we're gonna do, so you do 3 of these, and then 1 of this. That equals your 4. The meter ring is gonna be there to give us dig strength and shake strength. This will help us with speed. This will make it faster when it comes to filling up your pan, dig strength, and then shaking your pan. You want to get this to 5-star. Meteoric iron is really easy to get. You should not have a problem getting this. Get this to 5-star and make sure it has a roll value of 60 to 70%. Moving on, we're going to do an opal amulet. Opal, you need to find opal. Opal is going to be the first epic that you're going to be using. And then 3 jades, these you could find them in the Fortune River. And we're going to be using this for the luck. We have 2 to 13%, and then we have a modifier boost. Modifier boost is basically you have more chance of getting mutated ore, which is your your fancy ores that you get. Your I'm gonna show you real quick. It's better if I just show you. So like your iridescence, your iridated, and your scorchings. That's basically the mutations, which is the boosting mechanic of modifier boost. And then we're gonna move on to the last item, which is gonna be a lapis armband. Lapis armband is gonna provide us with luck, more speed, and speed is really good. You want to blend of speed and luck, because in this part of the game, or the early part of the game, you just want to get as many pans as possible. You just want to keep panning and panning to try to get more and more rare items inside of your pan. So I'll repeat it again. We're going to be doing a 3 ruby ring, 1 meter ring, opal, and a lapis armband. And I did say the roll values, right? The opal, 5 stars with minimum roll values of 60 to 70%, and then lapis armband, you want roll values of 60 to 70%, also 5 stars. So at this point, you should have all 5-star rings, 5-star amulet, 5-star armband. You don't want to have anything 4-star, 3-star. You're losing out on stats, and you need those stats to try to get as much minerals as possible. And this is what your setup should look like. So equipment, 3 ruby rings. So 1, 2, 3. Our opal amulet. Where is the opal? It's right here. Opal amulet. And then the lapis armband. So it should be looking like something like this. Of course, this would be higher. This would be 60 to 70. This is perfect. And these rings should be a little bit higher. These should be in the 60s to 70 ranges. But you get the idea. This is something that your thing should look like. My bad. Like this. I was missing one ring. I knew something was missing. But it should look something like this. So opal, 5 stars. This reroll thing should be higher. But you get the idea of what your inventory should look like. I'll also put it in the top left, top right, a visual thing where you can pause and read it. But this is just showing you and explaining you what each item does. So now we're going to be moving on to early late game gear. At this point of the game, you should have already 6 rank slots from doing quests, from just normal panning. You should have those shards and unlock those rank slots, and you should already have them unlocked. So at this point, before mythic hunting, before early late game gear, make sure you have the 6 slot unlocked. So now let's walk you through the steps of each item that we're going to need. So we're going to be switching from that ruby ring over to that 4. We're going to do 4 Heart of the Oceans. So we're going to do 4 of these. And before we get there, a lot of people are going to be asking me, how are we supposed to grind for these items? Use the late mid-game gear that I told you about in the part behind this one. So in the last part, use that gear, go farm in Delta and Sunset. And those areas will give you golden pearls, silver clams, and corals. And for the moon rings, you're going to get moon and iridian, whatever you call that. You'll get this in Delta, and you'll get that in Sunset. So just sit there farming. get the materials, high weight materials, with the past gear that I like, the past part of this video, and you should be able to craft them with no issue. My bad, I was sipping. But we're gonna go walk you through them. 4 Heart of the Oceans. We're gonna be using Heart of the Oceans as our majority because of the luck it gives. 3 to 10 luck, that is a lot of luck. Shake speed is very good too, and sub boost, so that'll make us some money. Very good ring. These rings are not worth it. Guiding light, absolutely garbage. And light keeper ring, absolutely garbage. Not worth it. Absolutely not. You're better off saving your cat's eyes for other things. But walking back to the hearts, we're going to make 4 of these. As always, make sure they're 5 stars minimum. So 4 of these, 5 stars. And they should have a roll value of 60 to 70%. So you're aiming for that 60-70% area. We're going to be making 2 moon rings. And a lot of people are going to be asking why moon rings. So moon rings are not as bad. Like the luck, yeah, you do tank. You're missing 3 luck. And it's not always guaranteed because you're not going to get maximum luck from rolls. But you do get luck, but you get dig speed and shake speed. And these are going to be real useful because, like I said, early game you want speed, but you also want luck. You want to be able to pan as much as possible every single time to try and get a lot of those legendaries, a lot of those epics faster. You just want to run through those. So you need speed, but you also need luck. You need both of them, and you need to have a good consistency of them. Can you run full moon ring set? Yes, you could run a full moon ring set. Or not moon, my bad. Completely scrapped that full moon. Full moon set is absolutely useless. But people that do ask, can I run a full Heart of Ocean set? So that means like 6 of these rings, yes. But you'll be missing on the speed for moon rings. I think you're losing on average 3 to 4 seconds per pan session. And for people that don't mind it, they want the extra luck, run full heart set. But for the mathematically the most optimal setup, you want to run 4 of these and then 2 moon rings. And I'll put it in the left and the right, and they should be there for you to pause, read them, and I'll tell you exactly what to do. This is just me explaining each one of these rings to you so you don't get confused, so you know why you're running it, so you have a little bit of knowledge and advice from it. Moving on, we're going to do Mass Accumulator. Mass Accumulator is going to be a little bit harder. You're going to be needing your first legendary, which is going to be Uranium. Osmium is hard to get to. Osmium is not easy to find, but it is an epic. It drops in Fortune in the new cave area. And Uranium is a legendary. You can find that in Fortune River. And it drops in Delta in the new cave area. This is very, very good. Gives you capacity and size boost. Capacity at this point of the game is going to be a really good thing for you. And the size boost is never bad. Size boost means big minerals, big money. And there's nothing forward with this, but when you do make the Mass Accumulator, please make sure it's a 5-star. Do not craft a 4-star, a 3-star Mass Accumulator. It's such a waste of your legendaries. Please make it a 5-star. Do not craft it otherwise. Make sure it's a 5-star, and as always, make sure it has a minimum roll value of anywhere from 60 to 70%. Keep reforging it until you get a good solid 60, 70 with a good, round of stats. Don't, make sure it's not too much size boost, not too much capacity, just the right amount. And we're going to move to our final item, the crown. Crown is going to be one of the best early late game item you could get. It gives you luck, it gives you size boost, and it gives you cell boost. But it does take a lot of ingredients. But these are ingredients that you should be already finding. Like, you find this in Fortune, and I'm pretty sure Sapphire, you find it in either Fortune or Creek. These are extremely easy items to get. The diamond, you could struggle a little bit on it, but If you mine in Fortune, or if you mine in, not mine, you pan in Fortune, you pan in Delta, you pan in Sunset from crafting the Moon Rings and the Hard Ocean Rings, you should have a diamond by then. Use the diamond on this, and as always, please make sure it's a 5-star. Do not craft a 4-star, do not craft a 3-star. If you need to know how to get more stars, look at the beginning of the video, look at the timestamp below the description, and it'll tell you how to get more stars and everything. Make sure this is 5 stars, and as always, make sure it has a 60 to 70 roll value. So when you craft it, if it's 20%, reforge it with the blacksmith and make it 60 to 70 with a good roundabout stats. So you want to lean more towards the luck and size boost than cell boost. So try to aim for anywhere from 20 plus luck and size boost 20 plus. And you have a really good crown. And that's everything for early late game gear. Next part of the video is going to be late game. So now you made it at the end. This is the late game. This is where all your sweat, grinding, everything that you've put, all your time, effort, this is where it all ends. So late game, I'm going to show you the best mythic farming. I was reading the notes that I made on the side. And this is the best in-game mythic farm. These are the items that you want to use if you want to get a lot of mythics. So at this point you should have 6 slots unlocked. You should have 6 Apocalypse Bringer rings, 5-star minimum. So each one of those rings should have 5 stars, and each one of them should have a roll value of anywhere from 60 to 70%. Mostly leaning on that luck. You want a lot of luck for endgame because you want a lot of mythics. You want a Phoenix Heart. Phoenix Heart is the most broken item right now. Even anywhere from 100 to 300% luck is absolutely insane, and it's always 5-star minimum. Roll values of 60-70%. And people that are worried about the size boost, if you're running Royal Federation Crown, this should cancel out. And I'll show you in a minute from what I'm running. But this should cancel out. You should not worry about the size boost too much. But if you do get a lot of negative size boost, you could reroll. A good Phoenix Heart is 250 luck plus, with a size boost of -50 to -40. That's a good range. And we're going to move to our next item, which is going to be the Royal Federation Crown. Currently the only crown that you can craft. This is the best crown right now, because it's the only crown. As always, has a very good amount of stats. It has an, up to 90, a lot of size boost, a lot of sub boost. And you want to run this mostly because of the size boost. The size boost cancels out the Phoenix Heart, which allows you to mythic farm without your legendaries and your mythics being too small. And I'm going to show you that in work right now. Let me go to my equipment. So you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5, and then 6, and then Phoenix Heart. And this would be the best mythic setup. If you have more slots, of course, bring more Apocalypse Bringers. But a lot of the players do not have the extra ring slots. This is pay. You pay money for it. But if you do buy it, put 2 more Apocalypse Rings. If you don't, you're gonna be running something like this. And I'll show you the negative size boost that I get with this. I'm getting only 15% size boost. Like, I'm not even getting a negative size boost. I'm actually getting some size boost. So you shouldn't be too worried about running it. But this setup will provide you the most amount of mythics. If you want more money, and I haven't made them yet. If you want more money, you can run 2 prismatic rings. The prismatic rings will increase your modification booster, which, as we talked about, means more mutated ore, and it will increase your size boost. It means you can actually run Phoenix Heart and not be too much of a debuff. But you could always run Celestial Ring instead of Phoenix Heart if you really want to run for money. It's up to you, but this is the best mythic. Like, no one else can tell you anything. This is the very best mythic loadout to get a lot of mythics. I've been using this, and I've got all of this: Prismara, Vortiz, Infernum, Pink Diamonds, Penites, or Penites, or Pains, or whatever you call them. And just a lot. Like, just look at all this legendary. I've got this all through just having this. It's very good. So this is the very end of the video. I just want to explain some things, go over some things, and clarify some things. So this video is going to be made hours before the volcano update. So some of the info, especially late game info, might be outdated by the time you get this guide. But a lot of the early game, mid game, and late early game, it's gonna be the same regardless. So you could keep doing that guide for my bad, I'm getting hiccups. But for late game, it can change depending on the new gear that comes out. As always, whenever you make it to late game, you don't really need a guide. Like, you know so much about the game that guides towards end game don't really matter. A lot of this guide is to help the early players and the mid game players that are kind of lost, and some of those early end game players that just want to know a little bit about everything. So if you're looking for the late game guide, and this is a couple days after the update, it might be a little bit outdated. That's just an FYI. If you need help individually, like if you want me to individually help you and give you a good setup, or you want me to look over your gear setup, I am in the prospecting Discord. I'll put it on the left. I'll put my username, so you can tag me in the questions channel. I'm always there. I'm always typing there. So if you need me, or if you want to text me a question to review GearGu, don't be shy. Ping me in the Discord. Ping me in the questions. Tell me you came from YouTube. You want me to review your gear. You have a question about this, and I'll be more than likely to help you. I will be putting out another 2 guides. I'll be doing a Starshine gear, or how to get Starshine. A lot of people have been struggling to get Starshine. And I'm going to be making a how to get Mythics quickly guide. And those 2 should be coming out in the next hours, or not the next day. I'll start working on this as soon as I finish editing and finishing this one. So that's going to be everything. If you have questions and don't want to type in the Discord, put them in the comments. If you like the video, it shows me that y'all like the guides, and I'll make new guides. I'll update these guides, and if you want to subscribe, you can. I don't really care about subscriptions and all that. These guides are mostly just to help people, and to help people that are lost in this game. A lot of people have been lost. A lot of people don't know a lot of things, and these guys are just to help everyone. Everyone should have a fair chance of knowing what they want to do and have some direction in the game. So that's everything. Thank you.